Hey guys, Dean of Games or Dean of DVD, depending on the channel you're watching. And my top 10 of 2017. Let's start with one, The Art of Chill Game by Bob Ross. And who doesn't remember this fondly? This, the PBS Art of The Joy of Painting. And this one features landscape features like happy little trees and almighty mountains, using colors and brushes from a set of cards that you draw, or should I say, that you kind of choose from a list of cards. So you're basically drafting cards into your hand that form the basis of a palette that you will then use to recreate this picture that requires certain colors and so on. Meanwhile, Bob is also painting, and your goal is to stay chill. So, a lot of fun. In at number 10, Bob Ross, Art of Chill Game. Okay, in at number 9, one that I picked up not that long ago. I picked it up early after its release. Really was drawn to it by the artwork and the general thought of the game, which I thought, had some basis in science, which I thought would be interesting for the kids especially. My daughter loves the game. It's simple enough to teach. I would almost say this could be some sort of a gateway game for folks, but it is Photosynthesis. And get a little bit of the shininess there on that top of that tree. The idea being that the sunlight's hitting it, and the concepts here are when the sun hits your seedlings, they grow and continue to grow until they end up blocking other people's. And so the game looks a lot like this one. It's being played out. This with 3 players, it looks like. Or is it 4? It's like 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4, I guess. 1, 2. Yeah, 4. Sorry. Each one has their own colored trees, representing one of the seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Winter being blue, fall being red, summer being green, and spring being yellow. These are the 4 seasons, and well represented. It's a simple game, but really nice. Really love the way it plays. The sun revolves around the area as it would. And as the sun goes from one area to the next, different trees will be blocked by larger trees, and they won't get the sunshine that the other ones get. So, pretty cool. I really enjoyed this one. Photosynthesis, my number 9 for 2017. We're up to number 8 now on the list. This one, I enjoy this one more than other people do. I don't know why. I guess I'm really taken with the, not just the gameplay, but the whole tactile sense. I'm a big chess fan, so this one hits some chess-like notes for me, and just really like the look of it. This was a first edition, and I also have the expansion. Anyway, I'm talking about Santorini, a great 2-player game. I think it works best with 2. The idea here is that you're building a town up, the town of Santorini. And you add a building, then your opponent adds a building. Meanwhile, you're moving people on your map, little characters, which are kind of cool. And the idea there is whoever can get to the top of one of these before it gets capped off wins. But it's not that easy to do. Then various cards add powers, which add even more to the game. I find that I can play without any powers and enjoy it. But the powers really do add a nice twist, and you really have to start thinking extra deep when you've got these powers, because they really are powerful. That is Santorini, and that's number 8. Are you keeping track? That's number 8. Number 7 now. Number 7 is a game that I picked up the original one for the first time this year, and then shortly after I got that one, this came out, and I was in the board game store and saw it, and I said, I didn't even know they were making this. I don't know why it would be any different, but let's pick it up. It was cheap. That's another reason why this game makes my list. It's another kind of co-op type game, and I think I like it better than the original one for 2 players, and that is Codenames Duet. So in this one, you are actually on the same side, trying to solve within a certain amount of clues that you can give. You need to contact 15 agents or solve 15 words. It's not that easy, and you can use the older cards from the prior game with this game. So if you know code names, it's pretty cool. You're giving a one-word phrase to be able to give a one-word clue to be able to help people and trying to find something in common with all of these, so that your opponent, or in this case your friend, can get as many as they can. In the original game, you're trying to stop your opponents by you and your partner getting them. But I really like this game a lot. Codename's Duet, and that comes in at number 7. Okay, we're up to number 6. I really like this game a lot, and this game is ripe for an expansion, so I can't wait till they do that. But for me, I just love the fun of this game. I don't get tired of playing it. It's one of those games I can play it and then immediately want to play it again. It's not that lengthy. I can't remember the time on this, but it's not a super long game. I'm looking to see. It's always like hidden on this for some reason. I don't know. 45 minutes. That's about right. But it's a quick 45 minutes. You're doing something every turn, and so I think that probably adds to the fun of it. I'm talking about Dice Forge, but if you haven't heard of Dice Forge, I was attracted just by the cover here. It just looked really kind of minimal, stylish, like the colors, like the gem. The idea here is that you're forging your own dice. So you've got dice, you can pry off different pieces of these and add others, and there's a whole slew of additional things you can add to the dice. And then as you roll them, you get greater powers. The dice can do various things. A lot of decision making as to how you want to do that. But I think it was definitely worthy of a top 10 Dice Forge. I could even see this one going higher with an expansion. Not that it needs one, but I just think it would add to the fun. That's Dice Forge, my number 6. Okay, top 5. The games get a little bit heavier and in some cases a little bit darker. And we are up to number 5. It was a tough one to rank these is tough when I get to the top 5 because I like all of them. But at number 5, this War of Mine, the board game. Love that you can play this solo, which is what I've done so far. I hope to be able to include some other people, but it really is a bleak and somewhat depressing game to play because you are survivors in a European war-wrecked country, and you are playing, nobody with any powers or anything. These people are just, barely able to get by. And the idea is to try to survive, at least until the ceasefire happens. So it's a tough game. Various scenarios you can play. You are in a house that you're trying to defend. You're trying to explore the nearby area to try to find whatever you can to live. Food, bandages, medicine, whatever it might take. You might get lucky and find a gun. Here's a look at the back. This game's not for everybody. I would definitely say that. It's not a game for everybody. But if it seems like that kind of theme wouldn't ruin your day, I would recommend it. That in at number 5, and that's this War of Mine, the board game. Okay, number 4, kind of a sequel, I guess, but you don't really need to have played the prior game, which I haven't, to play this one. Really like it a lot. It has a couple things that I don't think are great, but I don't think they're terrible. And there's so much to love about it that it's hard not to put it up in the top 5. And it's a heavy one, and that is Near and Far, Ryan Lockett. What a talent this guy has. He draws, designs the game, not totally by himself, but he's done pretty much everything in here. Game design, illustration, writers, him and a few others. The artwork is just gorgeous. Love the fact that you've got a book that you kind of flip through for different scenarios or different levels. Characters are appealing to me. The whole cartoony concept is neat. Like the overall world. There's a couple things that can happen when you play with multiple players that can shift the game. Not always good, but depending on who you're playing with, if they want to have an adventure, find people who want to explore and have an adventure as opposed to just figure out the fastest way to win the game, and you'll have a really good time. But that's my only really complaint about it. That if somebody wants to really quickly, juke the game into high gear and force your hand, they can do that. But hopefully, you'll find people who don't want to do that. That's number 4. Brings me to number 3, another tough one to choose. All these games, when I come to the top 10 or top 5, are tough. This one I really enjoy. This one came out of nowhere for me. I never even heard of it, and saw it in my friendly local game store, and traded in some Magic cards for it. So it didn't cost me anything. So it was kind of kind of did it on a lark, but boy, this game is a lot of fun. Tactical more than strategic, I think, but plenty of room for expansion. The characters are really cool. Reminds me of Overwatch, if you know that video game, as far as the characters are concerned. And it's really fun. It's called Arastia, the ultimate sports show. And in this one, you're battling in an arena. You get 4 characters. You can either draft them, or you can go with the ones they suggest to start. Each one has its own ability. You've got a handful of cards that are unique to you. 10 standard ones that go with both decks, and then it's 8 that are unique to your deck, depending on what characters you play. Each one of your characters gets 2 of their powers, unique powers. So pretty cool stuff. And yeah, your idea is to take different objectives. Sometimes it's to move something from point A to point B. There's an underdog whoever's behind gets to choose where you have to go to next. So that kind of balances the game a little bit, I think. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. That's Arastia, number 3. Number 2. Game I just recently got and played. Tried it solo. It's a tough game. Tried it with 2 players. Still a tough game. I imagine it's going to be a tough game no matter what I do. But it's a lot of fun. It's just different. It's the anti-Catan game. So instead of being settlers trying to settle the area, you're trying to stop people from settling. And that is Spirit Island. Yeah. It's it's like it says, it's a cooperative settler destruction strategy game. These settlers are coming in droves, damn them, building up towns and cities, and we, the spirits of the island, are trying to protect the place. We don't want people here. We want to drive them away. And so we have some really cool powers that we can play to get rid of these dudes and send them back to their home, because it isn't here. That's number 2, Spirit Island. A lot of fun, and I think if this is the kind of game you like a cooperative game, you like a tough game, you're gonna like Spirit Island a lot. That's my number 2. Number 1. It's a game I'm not going to hold up for a couple reasons. 1 is you've all seen it. 2 is it may be obvious. 3 is it's too damn heavy. Number 1, changed dungeon exploring RPG type gameplay by eliminating dice, going solely with cards. Quite the value for this. Kickstarter, hard to find. 2nd edition just came out. Gone. Be months before you get another one. Say it with me. Number 1 is Gloomhaven. Yeah, Gloomhaven's such a fantastic game. Again, single player or multiplayer. People can jump in and jump out in the campaign. It's just a lot of fun. It does change the way you play these types of games. And if you have any interest in fantasy type games, highly recommend Gloomhaven. That's my number 1. Hey, thanks for watching the top 10. Just some honorable mentions now. 1 is Charterstone. Haven't had a chance to play that one yet. It looks really good. But until I play it, I've got a couple guys I'm lined up to play with. I really can't say, but it has a recharge, so dual side board, a recharge thing, so you can apply some of the stickers to the other side of the board. The other one is Escape from 1 Million BC. Really like that game. It's cooperative, or it could be solo, where you're trying to find different pieces of a time machine to send yourself back to the current age. Meanwhile, there's dinosaurs afoot, and you better watch them. So, pretty cool game there. And finally, The Making of a President, 1960, by GMT. I'll hold that one up. It wasn't released this year, or it was by GMT, but it's an older game, but really love this game. I would highly recommend it. So, those are my 3 honorable mentions for 2017. Who knows? Maybe I'll make my list. I'm going to be doing an all-time list also. So we'll see how that one shakes out. Until the next time, Dean of Games or Dean of DVD saying take care. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.